Okay. We apologize for the lighting in this video.
Yeah, the light's not gonna work today. You're gonna knock the camera off.
Yes, and I'm gonna break something.
All right. Welcome back to Midnight Reviews. Tonight,
midnight showings.
Midnight showings, whatever we're calling this thing. Tonight we saw a movie that I don't think either of us would have seen.
I probably would have.
He would have under normal circumstances.
I like Liam Neeson.
Walk Among the Graves.
Walk Among Tombstones.
Tombstones.
As always, I'm Kelly.
I'm DJ.
And I'm gonna just slide this slightly over so I'm in the picture too. Not just you. But yeah, overall this movie was definitely worth a watch.
It's interesting. I had Redbox it at least once.
Yeah, I'd recommend it in theaters for anybody who's a fan. But get the elephant out of the room real fast. If you were thinking this is going to be taken with something else, it is not.
Although it is fun to see Liam Neeson on the phone.
Oh yeah, they threw that in there. I'm pretty sure that was only for the fact that he's famous for Taken at the moment. I really do.
Yeah, which is funny because as I was waiting for him, I was leaving the house and I was telling my parents where I was going. They were freaking out because I have to wake up and be at work at 8 in the morning, so it's going to be a pain in the ass tomorrow. And
I got class at 7. No, it's at 9.
And so I go in and my mom is actually watching The Grey, which is a huge coincidence.
Liam Neeson is not killing anything in this scene. That's basically what the Sin City is going to say about this movie until the end of the fucking movie. They open it with him killing something, and then he doesn't kill anything in this movie until the end.
You mean Cinema Sins? You said Sin City.
Oh, sorry, Cinema Sins.
Cinema Sins. Anyway, it's interesting. The whole movie, I kind of noticed. I felt like he was doing some weird little run, hunched over or something. Yeah. That was weird. I thought they were gonna bring that. They did delve into his backstory because he plays this. Why
didn't they tell that backstory at the beginning of the film?
Right. He plays this retired cop who's using his influence and his badge to be I don't want to call it a hitman because that's not the right word.
He says it as he's a private eye. He does people favors in exchange for gifts. By in exchange for gifts, he means absolutely fucking nothing because he never once asks for money or a favor or anything. He just does these because he wants to do something good.
Yeah.
And
I'll turn it over to you because you can probably tell the backstory a lot better.
Yeah. Basically, he was a cop. He was off duty one day. He was a corrupt cop. They actually do make a mention that, although it's never played in a lot of things in this film, which I'm pretty sure it's got the giant "Read the Book" logo on it. But
I'm amazed there wasn't a tagline or a tie-in to that, an advertisement that says, yeah.
The opening credits was basically a screenplay adapted, written, and film directed by Scott Frank. So I really do think this was just Scott Frank's personal mission to make this book into a movie.
They've made worse movies out of worse books, much like Twilight.
Yes, and it's not bad. This film is not bad. It feels longer than it is, especially in those parts that don't go anywhere. They were probably in the book for the sake of being in the book.
At least it was better than Sin City, which could have ended a whole one story ago.
Yes, that indeed. Basically, he's a corrupt retired cop. The reason why he retired was because he was inside of a bar one day when a couple of guys came to, rob the place.
Causing trouble in his neighborhood.
Yeah, you don't fuck with Liam Neeson. Yeah, especially when he's got a gun. But they try to rob the place. They end up shooting the bartender without getting anything. They just shoot him and leave. I mean, at least try to get the money first.
Right.
I mean, you could maybe say that they saw Liam Neeson because they end up shooting at him while he's reaching for his gun. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that they didn't even try to get the register. They just shot the guy. Again, could have been handled better. But yeah, while Liam Neeson chases them out in the street, shoots 2 of them dead. One of them gets in a car accident. He manages to peg him in the leg before, well, taking him into an alley and shooting him there. Unfortunately, one of the bullets hit a kid. The way that he describes it, an inch to the left, it would have grazed her head.
Yeah, he says the bullet did a bad bounce.
A bad hop.
I thought a bad hop, and I thought that's what he was gonna tie it into. Like it came back on him, and that's why he kind of does that weird little hunch thing. But
yeah, no,
that was just me.
I really think that was just Liam Neeson getting old. It really is. He's doing these action films, but you have to admit it's the same thing with Sylvester Stallone in The Expendables. You still need to watch the first one. And the first one...
No, I still need to watch the second one. You showed me the first one before we saw the third one. I didn't see the second one.
Yeah, it's the second one we still need to watch. But you can notice that his movements get a lot slower and more deliberate.
That's why they have stunt doubles.
Well, that's the good thing about real actors. They don't need them half the time.
Yeah.
Now, if it's a legitimate stunt
that
takes precision and skill, give it to a stunt artist.
Yeah.
But if you're an actor, try to do as many of your stunts as you possible.
Yeah.
Please.
I'm amazed Liam Neeson hasn't been in The Expendables yet. That would be interesting.
Well, no, see, those are all the guys from the 80s and whatnot. And it wasn't until the third one they started bringing anybody new in.
Oh, come on. Liam Neeson was in Schindler's List. You can't get more...
That's not an action film.
So, it's Liam Neeson in a great movie.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, so he quit and retired being a cop so that he could, well, I don't know, actually. They don't really go into it. I mean, he quits drinking because of the event, which I understand, but why did you quit being a cop after that? Even if you got he even got a commutation. I get it. You don't want to do it. Take a desk job. Don't quit and do favors for people now. It's just going to put you in more situations like this movie.
Exactly.
But, yeah, the whole movie is basically trying to find killers that are just really fucked up people.
Killers.
That's probably the best thing about this film.
I don't know. Aside from Liam Neeson, there's really no actor in this movie that
I've seen the black kid in a few films, but he was a lot younger. In this one, he's a full-fledged teenager.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing him back when he was just
Oddly enough, there is another person that we do recognize the name of as one of the executive producers.
Oh yeah,
of all people,
it's Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito produces this film. We're in the credits, and just producers show up and like, wait, what? Yeah, not executive producer. Producer. He was a regular producer. So he wasn't the exec who wrote a paycheck to get his name on this film. No, he was actually behind getting these people together and making this film. I mean, Danny DeVito, thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you.
I guess he read the book and liked it too.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. DeVito. Yeah, long time. Hey, I'm looking to make this film. Can you help me get some guys together?
Yeah. So anyway, the actors playing these serial killers.
One of them I recognized from TV, the Ray guy, the one that kept smiling.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of TV stuff.
I've seen him before. They do it really well.
Yeah, the best part of this film is just these psychos.
Yeah.
And they actually have character development. I mean, this isn't like Electro and Amazing Spider-Man 2, where it's super forced because he's a weirdo. No, these guys have a legitimate psychosis. And you can tell it whenever they open their mouths. They play them very, very well. They show that they actually have backstory, thought processes. These guys aren't just insane. They're intelligent and insane. And they intentionally target drug dealers, which means they're less likely to call the cops. They get the money and then they kill the people anyway. This is really real. These guys are really fucked up.
Yeah, to get their money, they kidnap their wife or girlfriend or daughter. And oh my gosh, that scene.
Oh yes. This movie is kind of shot like a art film.
About the second act, there's this scene where you see them in their windowless van, and they're like circling this house, stalking like
in a camera, no less. You only see them inside of the little viewfinder that we've got here, looking at in our camera.
Yeah, and they're circling this house of like their next victim, and they see this woman like at night coming back from walking the dog or something. I don't know, getting something, and
yeah, they
nurse. Realize that she's actually their nurse and not like related to the guy at all, taking care of his wife who's like in a coma. And so then like the next couple scenes, they see it that it's their nurse in the next couple scenes, like during the daylight. And then we get this weird scene. I wanted to mention it to him. I didn't tell him what my thought process was on this scene. The guy's daughter comes out with their dog, like walking their dog, and like the guy's behind him. And this like happy music starts playing, and this guy just like eyes the daughter as she's like walking by, and she doesn't know who they are. She's just kind of like waving at him, and I felt like it was so out of place, but at the same time so in place. It was fucking creepy to me. My whole face the whole time was just like,
there's so many moments like that in this film.
It felt like one of those scenes in those dopey like teen comedies where the nerdy kid sees like the cheerleader with like all her friends, and she's talking, and she doesn't see him, but he totally sees her, and like the teen music, whatever, teeny bopper music of the week starts playing
from the actual 90s, which is a step up from the identical.
And the girl, yeah, and the girl, like, it's like in slow-mo, and
they rip this. If you want an example of what we're trying to give to you, if you've seen American Beauty, when that the cheerleading scene where Kevin Spacey is staring at the girl that he's gonna sexually go after the entire time, and he's like rose petals and he pulls out the face. I mean, it had that creepy of a feel without the comedy. This is admittedly just like my fucking god.
This is like a thriller, and they put that in. Yeah. Aside from I wouldn't be surprised.
There were more scenes. The opening credits, again,
dude,
done
like
very well. You think that's like a guy just caressing his wife or something.
Yeah.
And then they start panning out, and you start noticing she's crying some of the best atmospheric music I've heard, which is really weird because the rest of this atmospheric music felt like it was on fucking overloud drive, drowning everything else, and they were trying to make it artsy. I get it, but good God, turn down your music and let's focus more on the characters and not the piano/violins going off. But we'll get to that in a minute when we mention the bad stuff. But no, the opening credits on this one, when you start realizing she's crying, and then there's two guys there, and they pull out a little bit, and you see that the woman has got duct tape on her mouth. And I'm just like, and right when they're doing this, music nerd in me, they start going into minor and diminished chords, and this otherwise really, really happy atmospheric music, and I'm just, and it gives you that, holy shit, this is sick. And that's exactly what this movie is.
It is.
It's sick.
It's disturbing on many levels.
If you are in any way squeamish to this kind of stuff, don't see this movie, because it really is disturbing.
I'm amazed I could take it. I'm a little squeamish to that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. It doesn't go the Saw hostile torture porn route.
There's a shadow of torture porn, but that's about it.
Yeah, no. If I were to compare this, it had the same feeling that Saw 1 did, where they're doing all this gruesome stuff, yes, but they've panned the camera up so you can't see it. They let your imagination fill in the blanks. They make you think in this one. And, oh my god, that scene where he's trying to get They just abducted one of the women in a flashback, while this guy's narrating over it, and they cut to they stop the narration and just let the Ray guy talk. The guy that I recognize from TV, who's always smiling in this film. I want to make a Joker reference, but it didn't feel appropriate considering how sick this was.
If the guy lost a little bit of weight and grew his hair out, and he could be the Joker.
Yeah, he could, and I'd believe that, and I'd actually pay money to see it. But no, he's actually asking the girl which breast she wants to keep.
Oh my gosh.
And he's got the wire there. And they show partial nudity inside of this one, but they don't focus on it. They pan back up just to see the terrified look in the face, and all you can see is just the tip of the wire that he's going to use to literally off her breast. And it's legitimately just...
You're just like...
and you're taking it from the driver's side, who's just got a guy who got roped into this for really fucking stupid reasons.
Oh my gosh, it was some like biblical name. I can't remember what it was.
I don't know. All I know...
I keep wanting to say Dante, but that's not it.
Fat weirdo. Fat weirdo.
Fat weirdo. Oh my gosh.
They actually do call him that.
Yeah, Liam Neeson's like, because you're a weirdo.
What did I say that gave me awake? Everything. Really? What? How did I do it? And it's like, it's because you're a fucking weirdo, man. And I'm just like, wow, that's not stereotyping at all.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that I think this film did horribly.
Just jab him with a pointed stick, why don't you?
Yeah, we'll get to that when we actually start specifically talking about the bad. But you see it from his perspective, and he's literally looking inside of his rearview mirror, which has the camera that has the little viewfinder while they're doing this, and he's watching this, and they actually cut away just before they actually start cutting the breast, which amazing. And all you do is hear it, because he turns away from the camera. You just hear it going on in the background, and it is just so bad. He jumps out of the car.
That is probably the fastest you will ever see a fat guy run.
Yeah, I mean, they don't pull their punches. You feel everything that these characters feel inside of this. It was just... This movie is fucked up. I don't even want to know what the book was like. And no, neither of us have read this book. And
I probably never will. I don't think I want to.
I don't know. I mean, maybe 10 years from now when I got some memory. This movie was okay. What the fuck?
This is 50 Shades of Grey of torture.
No, if I were to really compare it, this is an in-depth look in the mind of psychopaths. I don't even know if that's really the right word to call them. These guys, they both suffer from like two distinct, different mental illnesses type thing.
I think if they ever remake Psycho, one of these guys could be Norman Bates.
Oh, they did, remember? They had Vince Vaughn in it. Yeah, that movie was unnecessary. Not bad, but just unnecessary.
In like the next 40, 50 years, one of these guys could totally do it if they're alive.
Yeah, no, that was probably the best part about this, was these two killers. You could they get in your head. They really do, and they're shot in a way that makes them so they really stand out in your memory. They easily make my top 10 list of psychopaths that will haunt my nightmares.
Norman Bates included? Please?
I don't know. I mean, I knew about the twist and everything before I ever saw the original Psycho, so I don't know if it ever had the impact that it would have if no one had actually spoiled it or parodied it or dropped ketchup syrup and Space Jam down the drain.
You ever want to get together? I think it's on Netflix. You want to watch that show?
Probably.
Bates Motel.
Oh, not the TV show. I have my problems with that.
Really?
Okay, it's the stupid prequel thing. Just a side note, I don't want to spend too much time on it. They did it with Dead Zone. And the first season, okay, that one was actually good. It stuck to the book. Second season, third season, fourth season, not until the sixth fucking season did they do anything about the book. And then the seventh and eighth season, they had nothing to do with the book. It's just the character that I don't like these prequel adaptation type things.
I don't even think I knew it was on TV until I heard it was like in its third season.
Yeah. So that's my little opinion about that. Comment on there if you want. But anyway, back to the film. Another thing that was done really, really well is the guys that Liam Neeson is talking with, when he's actually investigating, which the investigation is really old school. How the hell did these guys not get caught? But that's another argument for another day. But the people he's interacting with, the Russian and the Kenny, the freaking drug dealer who set him on to these killers in the first place. Yeah. These guys are 100% believable, real life, non-stereotyped, even if they are dressed stereotype in the Russians' case. But these guys are non-stereotyped guys. They're drug dealers. They are people first, though. The drug dealer is their title. They don't act like the typical drug dealers. No, they are acting like real human beings who are put inside this situation who happen to be drug dealers. Especially when the little girl is taken in the second half of this film.
Yeah.
And they are just, when they finally get these guys, and Liam Neeson gives Kenny his choices, and he says, before you do anything, know that there's enough evidence here to put him in prison for 3 life sentences. They got fibers in the car, they got forensics downstairs, he's got his dead partner downstairs. Yeah, there's enough to put them away. But then why did you but I don't know if I can live with that. Well, that's why it's your choice, because I can live with it that way. If you can't, so be it.
Yeah.
And he lets the guy choose. I mean, this is a human being talking to another human being, and Kenny's choice is completely 100% understandable, relatable, even if it's a dumbass choice.
Right.
But it's the characters are real. All of them.
Might have been who? TJ? Might have been his acting. I don't know.
I'm trying to not mention TJ until we get into the bad parts of this film. Yes, there's a character named TJ, and he's the bad part of this film.
Stereotypical black kid.
Yeah. And I did appreciate the little drawing at the end, though. That actually kind of gave him a little bit of character.
Cool.
He has a disease.
Liam Neeson
shingles or something like that.
No, it's sickle cell anemia.
Sickle cell anemia, yeah.
Yeah. So Liam Neeson meets this black kid TJ,
who has no point in this entire movie until the last.
As he's investigating like the first disappearance and of the first woman we see, he's in the library looking through newsreels trying to see if anything connects with these guys, and we see this kid in the background, and the librarian like wakes him up saying like, you got to clean the mess up in the bathroom or we're not going to let you sleep here again. And Liam Neeson sticks up for him and says like he's working with me. That's my best Liam Neeson impression.
Well, see, you have to do it a little bit more lower, a little growlier, but a little growlier, but it's got to be monotone, even if you're happy. And it doesn't really matter because I got to talk like this the whole time.
Yeah, I would love to see this kid if he ever grows up to become like a comic book artist. I would love to see him. None
of those drawings were actually his.
I know. But
none of those drawings were actually his.
Suspension of disbelief.
Suspension of disbelief.
But they looked really cool. Like,
they did.
He could draw for like Magic the Gathering cards, or replace friggin' Frank Miller, Joe Quesada.
I'm trying to think of the name. I had to remember Linkara's.
Anyway.
Down to the top of the fourth wall. Bad comics friend.
So yeah, they like get together and TJ
Krotsky.
TJ becomes his like unofficial sidekick as a private eye, and he's
Liefeld. No, it was Liefeld, not Krotsky. Liefeld, sorry. I know someone commented on that.
Anyway. And so like, oh my gosh, tell him about the gun scene.
Oh, the gun scene.
That was disturbing.
That was disturbing, but fucking beautiful. That one, oh gosh. So, TJ, token black kid, I'm not racist, okay? I really am not. But this kid was nothing more than a token black kid to be put in this film. He had no point or purpose until literally the last fifth, which you could have done with do it with the guy that got shot inside the graveyard. Peter, what's his name? And have him end up getting killed because of it. But you still get that part out of it. And you cut a character. But anyway, the gun scene. He actually finds a gun, a piece, as they keep calling it, because they are he is so heavily stereotyped. He's talking complete gangster slang the entire movie.
That's ironical.
That's ironical. Yes, he actually does say that in the movie.
Liam Neeson does it too. Like
yeah,
once.
well, because he's mocking him.
Yeah.
The kid wasn't smart enough to get that Liam Neeson was making fun of him half the time. But no, I also did like the one comment inside the diner when he's talking to him. Can't you speak English, kid?
Can't you speak English?
But yeah, no, the gun scene, he finds a piece, and he keeps it with him, and Liam Neeson sees it in his bag. And he pulls it out, and he's like showing it off and whatnot. It's like, yeah, you know, it's mostly
like,
now.
It's like, here, take out the magazine, take it apart. Do you know how to clean it? And
you still got it around in the chamber. See right here? And he's actually like showing him how to do the gun.
Yeah.
He puts it on there, and he's like, jam it in my face like you're gonna shoot me. Do it now.
Sideways.
He's like, that's how you shoot it. That's how I'd shoot it. And okay, to be fair, people who have never shot a gun before, that's actually a pretty legit reaction. Turn it to the side for the stupid kill shot, which completely ruins your aim and flings all of the empty cartridges into your face. But anyway,
cheap action movies. Last
yeah,
action
and
hero.
they're like showing it. It's like, now you gonna shoot me with the safety on? And he like looks at it and he shows him, and it's like, okay, yeah, you gotta caress it, you know, be like you're. Now put it to your fucking head, and blow your brains out right now.
You're just like, wait, what?
Because it doesn't matter. Behind that gun, that's the only option.
Yeah.
It's either here or you do it, or someone else gets you shot somewhere down the road, and your brain matter is splattered somewhere else. That's basically what he says, and you're just, the fuck?
Right.
And it works. I mean, it's the best anti-gangster anything I've ever seen or heard in film.
Right.
I mean, it was intense, very well acted on both the kid's part, which, to his credit, I don't like TJ for being the token black guy, but the kid acted very, very well.
Yeah.
And Liam Neeson carried it perfectly. His monotone, normal voice kind of disappeared there, especially when he started talking about blowing the kid's brains out. And the kid ends up getting rid of the piece, but causes more contrived problems that leads to a hospital. And
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're done talking about the good. Let's talk about some of the bad. Yeah, the bad in this film. TJ is just nothing but a token black kid to be in this movie. And I don't know if he was... I don't know anything about the book, so anybody who's about to complain about him in the book, or complain to me saying that, oh, you don't understand, he's such an in-depth character. Well, in this movie, he did fucking nothing. He didn't humanize Liam Neeson at all. We already got most of that when he's talking to the drug dealers, especially when the one caps him in the knee inside of the freaking apartment building when he's trying to get some answers about the first victim, who turns out to be a freaking undercover cop.
Right.
And that explains how they all got, they know about the other people, because guess what? The killers stole her files. And it leads them on. It's a very good train of events of how they figured out how to get away with this and whatnot. But TJ has no purpose in this film until the last fifth, when he decides to just sneak inside the killer's car after a big shootout in a graveyard.
And even that is a stupid thing to do.
Yeah, it was a stupid fucking thing to do, because he did this while they're all shooting. When people actually died. Peter got shot. Okay.
Yeah,
you're
Ray...
not gonna give the... And one other thing, just small little tidbit. You're gonna give the fucking drug addict your high-powered rifle? I don't care if he was in the fucking army.
Yeah. And Liam Neeson's training is like... It's like, well, first we gotta go get him. And then he thinks to himself, I can see the gears moving in his head. It's like, I'm gonna use this to my advantage. And he calls the kid, who I don't think put his phone on silent.
God.
Yeah, he didn't put his phone on silent. And Ray, during this whole thing in the graveyard, Ray, one of the serial killers, gets shot in the, like, under the arm.
Yeah, just sorry about...
And Yeah, which could have ended much worse if they weren't wearing bulletproof vests, which is smart.
It was intelligent of them. I'm just wondering why Liam Neeson didn't shoot the fucker in the head.
Because
we needed the last 20 minutes of the film.
needed the climax. Liam Neeson's group knew that they would double cross him, and they knew they would double cross them. Which, yeah,
it ends in a really, really well done shootout. Considering,
oh my god,
it was all done at night, which most of the time ruins action scenes. But this one was shot
for a thriller like this. Holy crap!
Yeah. It wasn't just, token black where all you see is muzzle flashes. No, you don't see any muzzle flashes. This is heavy-duty shadow black, where they take 2 steps back and you can't see them at all. Take 2 steps forward.
Holy balls!
And you get their faces.
Oh my gosh.
It was really well shot.
So Liam Neeson calls him on the phone, and TJ is still in the back of their van. And you think that he's gonna get caught, but he doesn't.
He doesn't get caught
because you hear the faint ringing, and you see rain.
You hear the fake ringing through a car in the middle of a rainstorm that has active thunder and lightning. You have the best goddamn hearing I have ever heard of.
Yeah, if you hear anything like that, you would think to look in the van and kill the motherfucker who's spying on you, but they don't, and I'm kind of happy for that.
Yeah, they didn't kill him outright, which. If this were that was the one moment where my suspension of disbelief kind of took a nosedive. I'm like, he really was in this film for only this purpose, so he could sneak inside of their van and lead Liam Neeson to their house?
Yeah, it led to a really great climax. Let's get to it, please. So they go in, and Liam Neeson's hot on their trail, and they go down into their basement.
Where the quiet one decides to off his partner for being a loud smartass that's got shot.
Yeah. He takes the wire and cuts his neck and leaves him there bleeding out. And it's a really disturbing image, it really is.
And what does the fucker do after doing this? He goes upstairs and gets himself some porridge or a bowl of cereal or something. Just starts eating.
So Liam Neeson finds him, handcuffs him to the radiator, and is intimidating him, and we get that awesome scene we were talking about, one of the cool scenes
where he's telling him you have a choice.
Yeah, you have a choice. This is the first guy whose victim was this guy's wife, and obviously he's pissed off because they chopped her into pieces, said go to this. Because go here, go there.
They did more than that. They gave him the fucking runaround.
Yeah, they gave him.
He gave him the money. He gave him the money. Told him to go down to this block, wait 5 minutes, come back. She'll be in your car.
Yeah.
Call him again. Nope, she's actually here. Nope, she called him back. Here, he's actually here. Nope, he's just at home. Not there. Call him again after he's beating the living shit out of his mirror out of frustration. Tell him that she's gonna be inside of the trunk of this abandoned car in the middle of nowhere.
I thought they were just giving him her weight in crack as a joke. So he pulls out the knife.
Yeah, no, he opens the trunk and it's just a bunch of bags that are taped up like freaking drug bags.
Because earlier they had this conversation, it was how much would be willing to pay for her. What was it, 1 million or whatever?
Yeah, it was 1 million.
It was you would pay, if it was her weight in kilos in crack, you would pay $1 million to get her back. So that's what I thought they were doing.
Yeah, no, he only had 400,000, but so he gave him all that he had. Supposedly, yeah. I don't. Yeah, but he goes there and opens it, and it's just a bunch of bags that look like drug bags. And sure enough, he pulls out the knife like a drug deal, sticks it in, and nothing but blood
just gushes out. You're like, oh my god!
I'm pretty sure he picked up her liver and just stabbed it, because that's what it looked like. It was just like a river of blood. And yeah, as I said, these serial killers are fucked up, and they are easily the best part of this film.
Yeah. So going back to the climax, yeah, that was a really good scene.
So the guy ends up trying to figure out how he wants to deal with the serial killer that he's got. And holy shit, what did he do? He wants to take him apart with his own tools. Stupidly thinking that he knocked him out upstairs. He didn't knock him out, although he did leave a nice little welt on his head with a freaking vodka bottle.
Yeah.
But he goes downstairs to get his things. which ends up in the inevitable, he's dead next time you see him. Liam Neeson comes back after having a change of conscience, where they actually keep cutting back to him in his last AA meeting where they're reading the rules of AA, which I assume this was like the most religious AA you could possibly go to.
Right.
Because everything is about God and divine grace and help on high. But, yeah, he's remembering all of it. And the one, Rule 10 was that he not only has to put every other step into motion and carry it through every action in his life, but he cannot willingly push a debt onto someone else that he would not on himself or something or other like that, which ties in very, very well as to why he puts the kid in a cab, thank God, and goes back to try to stop Kenny from doing the stupid, which is killing the guy, which,
and then,
honestly, I think he was just going to go dispose of his body if he really thought after leaving him here that long.
Yeah, and we see the area where they handcuffed him, which, like, the handcuffs are on the ground and there's, like, blood everywhere.
Yeah, he managed to get to a spare set of keys that he had in a drawer filled with handcuffs that was shown earlier in the film and get his own handcuffs off. They go to the basement. There's a body on the stairs.
There's a body on the floor.
Whose is it?
Yeah.
If this had been...
Half the stairs are covered in blood, and I'm like, they can't make him. He's not going to slip on the blood. Which he does.
He slips and falls down through...
He, like, goes to, like, poke the body, and then he, like, slips and falls down, half the stairs.
He was trying to roll it to see if it was the killer or whether it was Kenny, which... Movie logic 101, I don't care if it was a big twist in the book. The kid, he was dead. He was dead. We all knew it. We all saw it was coming. But why the killer didn't attack immediately while he was dazed on the ground after falling down stairs is anybody's guess.
Yeah. So he, like, gets up, dusts himself off, and is, like, looking around, and I don't think I noticed it until the girl, like, a couple rows ahead of us was freaking out. And then I saw the, like, out of the inky blackness, the guy's head, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is Freddy Krueger shit.
Yeah, it's really shot like a horror film up until this moment, but then he tries to get the wire on Liam Neeson, and they start their ending battle, but there's no music at that point. It is very, very realistic. Every single sound you hear is something on screen. No music, no glorifying it, no tense music, nothing. It's just the way the scene's shot, which is partial shaky cam, partial torso cam.
Is that the proper way to deal with that in that situation? If you have a gun in your hand, pull it, like, go behind you and, like, shoot him?
Well, no, he wasn't doing that. When the guy put the wire on his neck, he heard him go for the wire. So what he did is he put his gun in between that and his other hand to keep the wire from going into his neck. It was cutting his hand, and his gun kept getting pinned. So what he tried to do is he tried to angle the gun down over his shoulder and shoot the guy in the head. Multiple times, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But he manages. They get in a small brutal brawl, throwing each other around, smacking each other into things. You know, blood going places it shouldn't. And thanks to Ray, who had grabbed a taser earlier, his dead body down there, he manages to get to Ray's taser, seeing it coming out of his pocket.
He tasers him in the balls.
Yes. Liam Neeson tased the guy in the balls.
I'm like,
awesome.
I'm like,
that made me cringe. That made me go, oh!
I'm amazed the guy, if I'm kicked in the balls, I'm down for a good, like, couple minutes. The guy stands up, like, almost instantly, and I'm like, jeez, this guy's got balls of steel.
Yeah, but then he ends up, well, they probably weren't steel. They were probably rubber, unconductible, considering he was able to get back up after it. But
God.
No, then Liam Neeson managing to tase him inside the neck. And while he's still basically distorted, he walks over, picks up his gun nice and slow.
Badass Liam Neeson moment.
Pulls it up to the guy's head, and the guy tries to say something, but all you hear is, and he blows him off in the head. Calls the cops, who, for whatever reason, don't want to question him or anything, let him go home. And shows a nice little segment of him being all tired and getting back, and he goes and sits down, sees the kid and his cool drawing with the superhero version of himself with a giant sickle on it.
Sickle, I'm like Captain Communist.
No. The nurse in the hospital called him one of the sickles.
Yeah, one of
because he had the sickle cell anemia thing.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
It was pretty good, and just pans out.
I like to see.
Then you hear the signature song of this, as sung by a girl, but I believe it was a guy that originally wrote that song.
Yeah.
Anyway, going into some more of the bad of this film, it feels a lot longer than it is.
That's about, what, 2 hours?
It started at 8. Take out the trailers and commercials, because we got a lot of fucking trailers, in which there is one in particular that we will be talking about in there in a second.
Dracula?
not the Dracula one.
No.
The Keanu Reeves one.
Oh yeah, that one.
That one was
again another movie I don't think I'd see
normally, but we're gonna
see it.
But anyway,
we're definitely gonna see Dracula.
It's about 2 hours, a little less if you take out the credits, but it feels like 3 hours at points, because I said it earlier, but it's kind of shot like an artsy film, where there's a lot of pictures and a lot of Liam Neeson kind of staring out, and you can completely remove TJ's part of this entire film. They keep cutting back to the subplot of him being homeless and getting beat up and having to go to the hospital. There really is no need for him. Did you really need him to give him back his coat and gun in the box?
No, if they cut him out completely, it could have been like an hour and a half, maybe less.
Yeah, it really just dragged the movie a lot, especially when it was unneeded. I mean, I didn't mind him inside of the library, or hell, even in the diner afterwards.
Yeah, the library, the diner, and when he's in the van are like the best parts where we see him.
The van, I didn't like him in the van, because that was just he'd be dead. He'd be motherfucking dead. These guys just got in a shootout with 4 other guys and walked away with 1 bullet wound, maybe a couple of cracked ribs, but it's yeah, TJ's part could have been removed, and it really drags. This film drags so much.
Yeah, we know TJ, we know Kenny, and we know Ray. Those are like the 3 names that I picked up on. I don't even think we know I didn't pick up on Liam Neeson's character's name at all.
They don't even mention it until, well, they say it very quick, and it's like, I need to know you got back, Matt. And then they don't mention his name until he starts looking for clues about these guys.
Yeah, it's like Matthew
and he shows his retired badge, and it says his name's Matt Scotts or something like that. Or Mike Matthews, I don't know. They just a few of them called him Matt, but he's almost never referred to by name. He really is.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that kind of gets confusing about some of these characters. Is
the other killer, I don't even think they said his name.
They didn't.
Like at all.
No, Neeson kept calling him Ray because he didn't know which one was Ray.
Huh.
But yeah, he just... it was... And then there was the obvious moments taken from Taken. Liam Neeson on the phone with the killer, basically telling him, I will look for you, I will find you, and I will kill you.
I have a particular set of skills.
Yeah, it's basically that.
It's
I mean, you
like
get
Taken.
I mean,
the phone parts are, but
the phone parts were ripped straight from Taken, and that was there were some other moments that were.
Yeah. All in all,
yeah,
I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, this film was definitely worth a watch.
It's not a movie, like I said, it's not a movie
for
I'd
everybody,
see
and it is really fucked up
normally.
At times.
Yeah. TJ is completely
the guy that throws himself off the building, the fat dude.
You're just like, all right.
Yeah, no, it shows how scared of these guys he really was.
Yeah,
and it was very well done. So I'm not gonna act like it wasn't. But no, his parts especially when they start reading the book that he's writing.
Yeah,
you realize pretty early on what the fuck is going on with these.
You're not like sad about him jumping off the building or his death. You're just perplexed. Like, all right, that happened.
Yeah, it's there's some pointless moments, and just TJ.
7 out of 10 for me. How about you?
I'd probably could put it closer to 6 out of 10. It's an above average film. I wouldn't say 7 because I'm more of the curve thing. 5 is an average.
Yeah. Brad hasn't done this one yet, has he? Is he gonna?
No, he probably will tonight. They go to all the precincts.
Yeah.
Let's hope I can get my video out first.
Judging by how long it took him to get the other two.
Hold that pose for a second.
So yeah.
Let's hope that I got a picture of that one now.
So yeah, I wouldn't go to the theater to see this and pay. Well, we pay like $9 a ticket here. I don't know how much it is. Don't go to the theaters to see it. Redbox it at least once. Watch it.
I would recommend going to the theaters on this one.
Just
because it is a great film, and it's a good film. It's shot very well, and they know what they're doing with it. Even TJ, I would recommend going to see this one in film, because this was actually a step in the right direction. All the characters were real. I mean, if you want to make a movie that is a mystery suspense thriller, this is a very good template to even just see and take it. And it does rape off moments from Taken, because the obvious, and the trailer makes it out to be Taken.
Yeah.
But it's...
Yeah, again, I recommended Netflix it, Redbox it. Do not watch it with your family, because it's definitely not for everyone.
Yes, we actually walked in the theater. I thought it was PG-13 at first, and then he drops the F-bomb right in the middle of the first 2 minutes of the film.
2 minutes,
and
you're just like, all right, you got my attention.
You got my attention. You just wasted your F-bomb in the first 2 minutes. And then they kept saying it, so it's pretty easy to put together that it's a rated R film.
The torture porn, the violence, there's a lot of language, drinking. It was pushed to R pretty quick.
It pushed to R pretty quick after a while, but the first opening,
before the end of the first freaking act.
Yeah, before the first act ended, this could have easily been a PG-13 film. But it was... All in all,
I thought we were going to be saying before we determined that it was rated R, I'm like, I was going to come in here and say the only problem with this movie was that it was PG. That you made it PG-13, and you're like, bullshit.
No, this is not RoboCop. This is not RoboCop. It's not RoboCop 3.
Alrighty, so let's wrap this up.
Yeah. So, all in all, I recommend seeing it in theaters.
I recommend Redboxing it.
But
do not bring the kitties.
Do not bring the kitties. So, all in all, that's all good.
Oh, yeah.
So, Cardmaster Recording should be up by the end of the weekend.
Really?
Should be. I'm editing it right now. I do I do need to shoot a couple things for the ending, because I missed a couple of lines, but that's mostly because they wouldn't shut up upstairs.
Yeah.
And I got tired of waiting for it.
All right, Cardmaster's Corner coming really soon. Like, comment, subscribe our reviews. See the other ones. Support us. Tell us what you think. Tell us about our screw-ups.
And by far, make fun of his hair.
Yeah. It's okay. It's growing back. My hair grows fast.
So, we'll see you all next time.
Bye-bye.